Welcome to Fortune Cookies Tarot. I'm Annabelle, tarot practitioner for over 35 years. And in this video, we're going to do Ask Me Anything. So we've had an amazing subscriber growth over the last few weeks. So I wanted to do an Ask Me Anything. If there were some new subscribers out there that didn't know a lot about me, maybe wanted to know more about what I do, what I don't do, questions about my life and everything. And since I'm still recovering from being sick, I figured this was a great day to do it. And I got a lot of questions. So thank you guys for being very interactive and awesome. So some of them are questions that I'll use cards for, but some of them are just questions that I can answer. So mixed bag, like I said, but I really appreciate all the new subs. You guys are great. Make sure you let me know in the community chats and in the comments on videos what kind of videos you want to see. I don't really have a set type of reading that I do. I like, of course, Hollywood, rumor and celebrity. I love that stuff. I love politics. So I apologize. I try not to be just a political channel, but I do love me some politics. I love how countries run. I love the history of how countries run. So while I was convalescing yesterday, I started watching The Great on Hulu, which is a satirical look at some of the rumors around Catherine the Great, which is really fun for me. I was again an English major and a history minor. My concentration was on pre and post revolutionary writing. I left college after doing some of my master's. I finished my undergrad and I left college after doing some of my master's due to a head injury. And I took some time off for that. And I had pretty severe epilepsy for several years as a result of that head injury. Head injury was obtained in a recreational capacity. And it did take me some time to recover from that. And it was awful. And I feel for anybody who has that happen. But recovering from that, I started my own dog training business because I found out how lucrative it was. And I had a dog that was detecting my seizures. So I got involved in the psychology of that. I got trained at National Canine in Columbus, Ohio, which is one of the highest rated dog training schools in the nation. I'm trained in police canine certification. I'm certified in police canine work, protection work, scent detection, search and rescue, handicapped assistance, companion dog training, aggressive dog training. I had a dog that was titled in French Ring. Her name was Buffy. She was a Rottweiler. She was amazing. I've had a lot of dogs. I'm partial to Rottweilers right now. I have a border collie. Our family has a border collie named Raven. She is very, very spoiled. She's border collie mix. And I love cats. We have 3 cats. AJ and Lily are our newest cats. They were a bonded pair from the same litter, a feral litter in Staten Island, New York. And we actually just wanted AJ. We were looking for a male black cat to replace our cat Grim, who had passed away. And when we went to look at him, there was another black cat in there. And I called our rescue lady and I said, "Who is the other black cat? Like which one's which?" And she said, "Oh, the other one's a Dolphy. That's his sister. They're the last 2 cats. They were the only black cats in the litter, and they're the last 2." And I was like, "Well, can we get them both?" And I was like, "I can't separate them." But she goes, "I would love for you to take them both." So that was from a great rescue called Happy Homes Rescue here in New Jersey. And they took really good care of us. They also placed our older cat, Pusheen, with us. She's a rescue from Kuwait. The rescue is contracted to get 9 rescue animals. I don't think they're doing it anymore since all the since the Afghanistan pullout, but I could be wrong. They were taking out 9 cats every year out of Kuwait, or once a year, 9 cats. And Pusheen has her own passport, which is really cool. I have a cat that has a passport, and she's a British short hair, piebald British short hair. She is the nicest cat ever. You can do anything to her. My daughter just holds her in her arms while we clip her nails, and she's really agreeable to that. And she is the only cat that we ever brought home, and she was under the bed for like a half hour and then came out and walked around like she owned the place. So she's really, really bright. She's really, really smart, and she's beautiful. So very, very pretty cat. You can see her. I did do some community posts with her. I do little videos with her because she's the cuddliest out of all of them. So so that's a little bit about me. My husband Gregopedia, he is not showing his face on camera. He's a cool guy. He is a professional gamer over there, or a professional artist, depending on what recreation he is jumping in. What's that?
I don't get paid to game.
Yeah, he says he doesn't get paid to game, but he is gaming all the time. Great guy, though. Really interesting. I do have a son and a daughter. They're both still in school, and they are both amazing. We are a very weird family. Fun fact about our house, there's a squid or an octopus in every room. Actually, it's an octopus in every room. And so when you come here, it's like Disney World. You know, they have the little Mickeys all over Disney World. So when you come here, you have to find the octopus in the room. It's a damn squid. damn squid. I can't say it. Our good friend Grumpy Sapper, I always say damp squid instead of damp squib, and he makes fun of me. He takes the piss out of me on that. So so what else about us, Greg? Greg is known as Gregopedia because he is my fact checker. He knows everything, like off the top of his head. He has the most bizarre body of knowledge inside his giant melon. That's why he has a giant head. You have a giant head.
No.
Gregopedia is also almost 6'4". If you follow my friend Foxy313, you will know that he knows Gregopedia is nearly 6 foot tall, 6'4". I am only 5'2". So we're an odd couple. We look funny when we stand next to each other, but we complement each other well. I am an extrovert. I'm actually an extrovert introvert, and he is an introvert. What else? That's about it about us. I think, without giving our social security numbers and access to my 401k and your retirement fund. So let's get to some of these questions. So Joy Earls. Hi, Joy. Love you, Joy. She says, I love you talking all things conspiracy. So I'm going to leave that broad brush question out there. Do I believe in the Pentaverate? Yes, I do. I think there's a Pentaverate. Do I think that we have contact with aliens? Yes, I do think we have contact with aliens in our world government. I think contact was made during the Roswell incident, and I think we've been in a working cooperation with alien life forms since then. I think the Air Force is closely involved in that. Do you hear any of those black helicopters, Greg? Not at the moment. Not at the moment. They're not gonna telegraph, though. They're gonna just show up. So we're always on the lookout for those black sedans pulling into our driveway. So let's skip to the next question. Karen Colpus, what do I see for you health-wise? Let me see. I'll pull up my card view in just a second, guys. There we go. So, Karen, what I am seeing is that if you don't start following the doctor's directions, first of all, I don't know if you work with like an osteopath or someone like that, but there's someone in the mix here who's giving you conflicting information. So I think you need to redesign your health team and make sure that everybody's kind of working together and not so much getting advice piecemeal from this doctor or this osteopath or this advisor. Again, I'm not a doctor. I'm just a psychic. So I'm reading the energy of the situation and the relationships between the different people, different players. So make sure that all of your people are on the same page, because what's happening is they're getting annoyed when you say, oh, well, I talked to so-and-so and they said this. So one party is getting annoyed and they're like kind of discounting, like, oh, this person's kind of flaky. They're doing something different. And it's taking you out of that position of power. When you leave that position of power, of not knowing, not knowing which way to go. It's also the conflicting information is confusing you too. It's going to accelerate some of the bad things. So we see system breakdown a little bit more. So I want you to be careful about that. I want you to get into a situation where you have a team of doctors, medical team, that are all going to be working together toward your betterment. So I think that will work better. So if that means a nutritionist, a general practitioner, and like a specialist, get them all on the same page. So I've long thought that in the United States, everyone's trying to get us onto these patient portals. And, you know, if they all had a discussion with each other, I'd feel a lot better about it, because you still have to have your records sent over from this doctor to that doctor. And I just think if it was a portal where everybody could kind of talk in that system, it would be really great. So maybe at some point they will develop something like that. You know, a lot of people get worried about their data getting out there and having like the retinal scans or like fingerprint scans. I'm all for that. Like, you know, the day I was born, you know, if they could take my DNA and plug it into a system and say, well, this is Anna, this is what she's done, this is what's happened to her. I don't have to fill out all those forms. I'm okay with that. And some people, they're like, oh, I don't want everybody to know my information. But in a medical situation, that's all the better that you have all the information. So that's just my opinion. I'm going to pause for a second. So, Mary H., what is my soul origin and how does that manifest in my present incarnation? So, let's see what your soul origin is. And we're just going to use regular tarot cards for this, just to see how far your soul has progressed. Actually, that is not true. Someone told me I was a liar in one of my readings. We're going to put those on the side, and we're going to use Hydesville Tarot. This is my good friend Alicia Wicker sent this to me, and this is a Major Arcana deck. I love that it's in a paper bag. It's my favorite. So we'll be able to see your oversoul, your soul origin. We'll be able to see how far progressed it is with the Major Arcana. Because the Major Arcana and the Journey of the Fool is reflective of the lifetime of the Fool. So this could be the lifetime of your oversoul. Trying to get a card out. Oh, the World. You're nearly done. Good for you. Wow. Didn't expect that. All right. So let's see. So, Mary, because you're nearing the conclusion of your evolution of your oversoul, which basically means you're going to go and be like a guide on the other side in the next few lifetimes. I don't think this is your last lifetime. I think you still have some other work to do, but you are a seed planter in this lifetime. So what does that mean? That means that you are the one that kind of creates the karmic ripple for another party. So you set the stage and they will have to act down on it in the next lifetime, hopefully to their betterment. You are not the agent of change in this lifetime. You are the one who develops choice for others in the next lifetime. Now, that doesn't mean run willy-nilly through this whole life. Like, don't do that. But your attachments, your emotional attachments will be far less than if you were actively working on your own karma. So I think in some situations you are going to see that people will be more emotional and upset about some things. And you're like, well, what's the deal? Like, why are you freaking out like this? Just get it done, just do what you got to do. That the reason is because you are setting the pace for them. You are the catalyst for their learning. So very interesting. It's almost like you shout fire and walk out of the theater and they run around, like maniacs. So really cool position to be in. Not an easy position to be in when you're empathic, though, because over here, that detachment from the emotion can get you into trouble, can get you into discussions with people that you don't want to have. And sometimes, you leave some people in your wake. So that's a very curious position to be in. You still have a few more lifetimes, so don't worry about that. You're not gonna bolt out on anybody. So there you go. Thank you for your question. You too, Karen. Thank you for your question. So, Melody, I haven't seen you in the chat in a long time. Starting master's classes next week. Wondering what I see about school and new job hopefully soon. So let's see what we see about school. Two of Pentacles. There's that King of Cups again. I'm pulling from the middle. Queen of Swords. Dust is clearing and Judgment. So I think school's going to be great. Okay. But I do think that you're going to make some adjustments to the focus of study. So that doesn't mean you're going to change the masters that you're getting, but you're going to change some of the coursework. You're going to discover that there's other coursework that you need to get done to feel like you have all the information, because you're at a point, you'll be at a point where there's that whole like consciously conscious, incompetently conscious, on that whole scale. You're going to be unconsciously competent, and you're going to need like another class just to kind of put you over the edge so that you feel consciously competent. The school is a good thing. This is really going to be great for you. It will clear away the cobwebs. So like I said, after most of the cobwebs are cleared away, you're going to go, oh, I think I may need like one or two more classes just to really feel like I've honed my craft and I know what I'm doing. You're in the right place at the right time. You are going to find work through them. So through career placement. And I have a feeling you may not leave the school, which sounds kind of weird. I think you may actually stay in that school and pick up work there. So that is a possibility. A possibility. So we'll have to see how that's going to go. But school's going to be great for you. This is the only card you need to see. The Nine of Cups. That's like all good things. That and the Sun are great cards. So we're going to put these on the side. We're going to put some selenite on them. And let's answer this question. So from Twisted Tiara, hi, darling. Who or what are your spirit guides? How did they first contact you? So my first psychic experience was after my grandfather passed away. He is not one of my guides, but he is around me a great deal of the time. So my grandfather passed away when I was 10, and he showed up and grabbed my foot while I was sleeping and woke me up and just kind of let me know without saying anything that everything was going to be okay, which was great. After that, I did start to like formally study with Flo Higgins and some of the other individuals out of her shop when I was 17. And the spirit guide that comes through the most is it's definitely an angel of sorts, but it's kind of like a cross between Brock Sampson and He-Man. So Brock Sampson is on the Venture Brothers, but he's like a big archetypical kind of chest plate, buff, blonde haired, big winged angel. But I don't see him as often as, I just kind of hear like, come on, man, what are you thinking? So, I what's that? So, it's kind of that kind of vibe. But I did do a meditation about 2 years ago. This was really wild for me. And I actually talked with Tarot Destiny. She's another budding channel, let's put it that way. She's a student that studied with me, and I was having a discussion with her about it. I did this meditation and was pretty far in, and I got this image of a mirror, and then I could see my own eyes in the mirror. It was me. And as I panned back from the mirror, it was a Native American. Now, I was one of those spiritual people that never really went through like a weird Native American phase. Like all spiritual people at some point like go through like their Sedona phase. I've been to Sedona. I love Sedona. I think it's great. Sorry about that little coughing attack. Didn't want to do that on camera for you guys. Now my nose is all red. So, I never went through a weird like Southwest phase. I love Southwest food though. So to see this Indian really was kind of shocking to me because I was like, oh, look at that. And he looked so much like me, which was really strange. Like he had my eyes, which is very, very strange. So I talked to TD about it and she was like, you got to meditate on that more. And I was like, you know what? I think you do. I think I do. And I haven't gotten around to it. But he got on a horse and was like, come on, come with me. So I guess that is a spirit guide that I need to get to know a little bit better. I use the Star Tarot deck, and I think maybe that was something that might have kickstarted that or made the connection because there's a lot of Native American imagery in that Thoth based deck. So there's that. Um, she Twisted Tiara also asked if I've remote viewed heaven or the moon. No to both of them. And I never even thought to like remote view heaven. Like, yeah, like maybe I should do that. Um, when you're learning remote viewing or controlled remote viewing, which is controlled remote viewing is what Lori Williams teaches at Intuitive Specialists and what I've taught Greg to do, and it's the process that makes it a little bit different. It's the reporting process, which also makes it much more provable and quantifiable. So you know, in that format, you can actually show where you got your information from on the ideogram. So somebody had told me that they didn't quite understand what I was doing in control remote viewing. It is a process that you have to learn. Again, I urge anybody to take the 3-day free course at Intuitive Specialists with an S.com. It's a pre-recorded 3-day class. They drop the classes to you every day, over 3 days, you get videos dropped to you, and you'd be amazed at the process. You actually do a remote view by the end of it, and you'd be really, really surprised. Um, so no, and the moon, I know a lot of people have looked at the moon. Pat Price is one of the original big names in controlled remote viewing, and he died a questionable death. You know, it's kind of weird that he was working for the government and he passed away and was cremated. It was had an autopsy and cremated before they informed his wife. So that's a bit odd. That's a bit weird. Also, apparently, like fell out of a window and had a heart attack at the same time. Like it's very, very odd kind of situation. So, and that was he had remote viewed um, a mountain in Alaska.
Oh,
What was that?
oh.
Oh, yes. So can you heal yourself inside or harness the power to do so? I do think so. You know, I referred to my epilepsy already in this video. I was having an average of 8 grand mal a day at one point. It's part of the reason why my first marriage broke up because I was having so many seizures. I just wasn't really a person anymore. The best thing I can say is I would take a shower, blow dry my hair and put my makeup on, and I would have at least 2 seizures during that process. So sometimes I would have to reshower because you get sweaty and gross. So I really got sick of living that life and I willed myself to not have seizures anymore. I haven't had one since 2000. So we're going on 25 years now, seizure free. So good deal. Good deal. So I do think that you can change your destiny and you can change your body to uh, be in alignment with the life you want to live. I think you can modify things in yourself. I think that's where people that have serious injuries or illnesses, you know, They actually, the will is what changes that. So I do think it is possible sometimes, but not always. So she also says, I know Greg can remote view, but can he do anything else? Psychically or in general? Because
Well, I knew it was-
that's it. That's it.
That's it.
That's all he does.
One trick pony.
He said he's a one trick pony. So Greg is an amazing artist. He actually, I will tell you this, he's incredibly gifted at finding lost pets with remote viewing. He loves dogs. He's a big dog fan. And he actually did a remote view for a friend of ours, where somebody was babysitting a dog and the dog got out. And so we got a phone call and they were like, can you remote view and see if you can figure out what this dog is? And Greg really had zeroed in on it very, very well. And we had like a whole, they were actually in the car. We were on a one-way call, but they were being text messaged, the people that were looking for the dog. And our friend Shelly was directing them to where we told them to go, and they found the dog. So psychic score for Greg. It was he was kind of amazed. So do my kids have a gift? So I already said I have 2 kids. I think my son does. He is a bit intuitive. My daughter is extremely logical like Greg. Greg was not a believer in any of this until just a few years ago. So, like about 4 years ago, he became a believer. uh, Prior to that, he was like, I'm a man of science. I'm not doing this. But what? Yay! So yeah, I do think that my son Angus has some ability. I asked him if he wanted to learn how to do it, and he was like, "Oh no, it's like girly stuff." So, not really into it. I asked my daughter if she wants to try and learn. I think everybody has an ability. I think some people are more they have more of an ability up front. So, so there's that. So perhaps, I think they could use it for testing. They can use it for, sussing out creepy people. So, I think it's a valuable skill for anybody. So Sandra Thompson wants to know, is my health okay? Again, I am not a doctora. I am a psychic. But let's see. I can't stop feeling sick. So immediately I'm getting that there's something in your blood. There's something going on with your blood. And you do need to talk to a better doctor, but there's some kind of blood screening. I don't know if it's like heavy metals or something in your blood, but there's something in your blood that's not it's not transporting the nutrients, the air, the oxygen. It's not transporting that well. So that's something, I would do a little bit of a bigger blood panel the next time you go to the doctor, see if they have any suggestions about that, because something's not working. It could be very easily remedied by a different diet or something like that. So I would definitely check that out with a qualified professional, something in your blood, which blood would affect everything. So if you've got one spot that is manifesting in like one eye that's like, not functioning very well, the blood would do that. Night Owl, love your profile picture. Love my energy. I am, so she says, I love your, she or he, I love your energy. Are you a fire or air sign? I am a Cancer with a Pisces moon. But if you ask my friend that does astrology, she's like, you're a Capricorn moon. She thinks I'm a Capricorn moon. So, but yeah, I am quite ambitious and quite happy. I am a morning person. I jump out of bed first thing in the morning. Yay! Greg is not. Greg is a night owl. We are like ships passing in the night in the bedroom. Sometimes when he's working, he usually comes to bed at like 5 o'clock, and I'm like waking up at 5 o'clock. So 5 a.m. So how did I meet my hubby? And we are a happy couple. And this is by JJBH7KK. So we are actually an arranged marriage. our sisters met, our older sisters met in kindergarten back 150 years ago. And our moms became best friends. So I remember Greg's a few years younger than me. I remember Greg's mom being pregnant with him. And we basically have known each other our whole lives. And I moved away when I was I moved out of town when I was 14 and moved a few towns away, made a couple of moves. And then I went to college. And then when I finished college, I went to California. And it wasn't until I moved back from California that my high school reunion was coming up, and everybody put us on Facebook. And so when I went on Facebook, like Greg was on there, Kathy was on there, so we all reconnected. And I, already had kids, and I already got married, got divorced, like the whole thing. So we were secretly dating for like 2 years. And by secretly, I mean we were dating and we didn't know it, but everybody else did. So like when we announced that we were dating, like people were like, duh, you've been dating for 2 years. And we were like, we were. But we like would go to the movies together, we'd hang out all the time. It was just very, very easy relationship. So so our wedding was really nice. Greg's friend Billy married us, and did this whole thing on a whole sermon on how it was, two families coming together. And it was very nice. Our mothers were very, very pleased when we got married. So Greg's mom made a funny speech at the rehearsal dinner. The rehearsal dinner, we just had our families, family style at an Italian restaurant. And she was like, thank you for marrying Greg. I didn't think he was ever going to get married. So Greg got dealt the old maid card. So that's how we met. We've kind of known each other our whole lives. It's a little creepy because we used to call each other's parents uncle and aunt. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of hillbilly-ish, but that's okay. It's a lot hillbilly-ish. My family was way more hillbilly than yours, though. So where am I located in the drone zone? So we're like the gateway to the Jersey Shore. So we're like smack in the middle of it. And I'm still gonna say it. Like we went drone hunting down at the beach one night, and our friend George lives down there, and he was like, yeah, there's drones all over the place. And we went there, and I really didn't see anything that I was super impressed by. But my girlfriend right up the street, she had like 6 giant ones go over her house, and she called me. She's like, oh my God, they just went past. I'm like, I go outside and there's like nothing. It's like clear blue sky, I was like, this is crazy. Like, how come I'm not seeing them? Me of all people, I want to see them. So that's where we are. We can see New York from where we are. And like, that was one of the things we were looking over to. What was that? Brooklyn we were looking at? It's Staten Island. We were looking over at Staten Island. Can we see Brooklyn from here? No, we can only see Staten Island. Staten Island. Everybody talks like that. The Isle of Staten. So if you haven't seen What We Do in the Shadows, the series, go watch that. They're vampires that are flatting together on the Isle of Staten, from a movie called What We Do in the Shadows, where there's vampires flatting together in New Zealand. It's hilarious. So that's where I am in the drone zone. This is from Sharon Martin. Can you tell how long Keir Starmer will stay in office in the UK? So with all this hubbub that's going on with Justin Trudeau stepping down, changing of the guard in the United States, I don't know. It's not. Somebody didn't think that was funny when I said it. Yeah, somebody got upset. I don't want to upset anybody. They thought I was being too glib about their fair country. I wasn't. I like Canada. I don't know about poutine, though. I've never had poutine. Is it? I would love that. So how long Keir Starmer in office? And I read on this the other day, and I was like, they don't have a replacement yet. And I think I'm going to stick with that. I don't think they have a replacement yet for him. So the Five of Swords, they're kind of trying to figure out a solution. Knight of Pentacles, they don't have anybody that's going to be a better fix for it. And with the whole Liz Truss thing, I don't think they want to see like this like never ending revolving door at 10 Downing Street. Like it doesn't have a revolving door. It's not supposed to anyway. And the Six of Swords, you know, it's out of the frying pan and into the fire. Like we can't really put somebody else in there yet. So I'm sorry about that. So next question, what do I think of Elon Musk? My relationship with Elon Musk is very interesting. Um, I was kind of curious about him, and I thought he was a little bit obnoxious for a while. And then, like, I was like, who's this guy? Like, why do we keep hearing about this cat? And then when he got involved with Amber Heard, I was kind of crushed. I was like, what is he doing? Like, that's a whole thing that no one should get involved in. Like, clearly that was a bad issue. But I think she told him some interesting tales. He was also in the apartment in downtown LA. They had him on the camera. They had James Franco and him. So I don't know if he was trying to be a friend. Certainly she had, her money on his or her eyes on his wallet. So that was a move to get in with the guy who was fabulously wealthy, and that way she would be protected. I think he did fund some of her legal fees in that situation. And that was kind of a bummer. But then when he broke up with her and he got together with Grimes, I was like, this is really cool because now Grimes is a very interesting character. She's incredibly bright and legitimately so. Amber Heard claims to be bright. She always has like a book. I don't know how legit that is, but she always, is kind of advertising that she's smart. Whereas Grimes is like low key smart. Like Grimes is one of those smart girls that like can't help it. Like something really dorky is going to come out of my mouth, and I can't help it. But she's really an interesting person, and someone who did not seem invested in getting involved with someone who has a lot of money. So I really like that. I think they have 3 kids together now. So I think it's like kind of I don't know, he's got a harem. So, more power to him. His philosophy about populating the world and being aggressively populating the world is very curious to me because I'm not sure how that works out at the end. Like I can't connect the dots really on that. So yes, he's trying to populate the world with little Musks, little Musk.
No, the people of his planet.
Oh, the people of his planet. You think that he's an alien, right?
Yeah.
I think there's something unusual about him. The RH factor, and we've got one in our house. We've got one that's a type O negative. My son is type O negative. He's a universal donor. So, there's something about that being alien DNA, and that's why it doesn't quite work with certain things. So, and his dad, is from Scotland. I'm sure, being up in one of those tiny towns up at the top of Scotland, some aliens probably landed at some point, fed into that bloodline. But no, seriously, I do think that there's something very, very unique about Elon Musk. I think there's something very different about him. So, but I like him. I now I do like him. It's like once upon a time I did not like Martha Stewart. I was like, oh, it's a good thing up your butt. But then she went to prison and she became friends with Snoop, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm down with Martha Stewart. I think she's really interesting. I love everything that Martha Stewart does now. So, and to be sure, I was like 15 years old, and my mom went through her Martha Stewart phase, and I was like, really, this lady's like obnoxious. But I was punk rock then, so now I love a good tablescape. I love a good canapé. Or an hors d'oeuvre. I love that. I love that little fun stuff. Not into Meghan Markle's version of it, but I did like Martha Stewart. I have a lot of her books upstairs. So So I like Elon Musk. I'm curious about the way that he does things. A lot of people have asked me, is there going to be a fallout between him and Trump? And I do think that they're going to butt heads. I don't think you can have personalities that big in a room together for that long before they start to butt heads. So I do think that there's going to be some kind of crisis dilemma between the two of them. So that being said, this is the last question in the bunch. So this is from Dave Murphy. Dave Murphy's new. Hi, Dave Murphy. Dave Murphy also commented on another string that he has heard whispers of King Charles toying with the idea of retirement or regency. I think I'm going to have to do a video on possible regency because I think that may be where we're headed. Someone told me that if he retires, he's not going to get any money and like it's going to cause a whole problem. That was in comments. So I'll take a look at that. So maybe what I'm seeing is as abdication may be a regency that's coming up. So Dave Murphy, you suffer from chronic back pain. I have a herniated disc right now. I feel it. I know what you're talking about. I've had multiple surgeries on your back and one on my neck and recently had 2 strokes. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. You're on a lot of pain medication just to function and be able to work full time. Do you see any changes to this? Let me see. I'm going to pull up the card view too. So I do think, and this is you just being unhappy with the whole situation. This is, the prescriptions possibly becoming a bit too much. At this point, I think you're at the point where this particular team can get you to. I think that they are going to propose another surgery. This would be, when they realize that this is kind of the threshold of where we're going to get to. When they propose another surgery, I would seek out other opinions. I don't know if you are in the United States or if you're in Canada or if you're in the United Kingdom. If that's an option in those states with national health care. I don't know if you can get second opinion. So, I do think that they're going to want to go in and do another adjustment surgery for you. So I would seek out other opinions because if they do another surgery, I think it's going to be very, very hard on your body to adjust what has already been done. So let's see. Is there anything else they could do for you, Dave? Oh, that's interesting. So one of the things I was going to suggest, there's a book by Dr. Joe Dispenza, and it's called Supernatural. And the book is there are corresponding meditations that go with it. You can purchase those off his website, or I think you can get some of them on YouTube for free. But I think the book is really valuable for you. Again, it's Dr. Joe Dispenza, and the book is called Supernatural. And it's he explains how it works as well. But in the beginning, he gives you a number of anecdotal examples of his work, people that were going through trouble, that were having physical issues, that corrected them through his meditation process. Like I said before, with Twisted Tiara's question about, do you think that you can heal yourself? I do think you can heal yourself. But in a lot of circumstances, when we have injuries that need some kind of surgical or corrective action taken, the meditation is to provide a safe landing place for those physical actions to take place, and also a safe healing place for the healing part of it. But stress, I am not a doctor. I am just a psychic here. I am reading on your spine right now. And excuse me, it is quite busy in there. There's a lot of different things that are happening in there. I can see it's almost like in the Peanuts cartoons where you see Pigpen and there's all that dusty cloud around him. It's kind of like that in a number of spots on your neck and your spine. So I would definitely, see how they're going to manage you from now on. The pain management, you can talk to them about some other routes so that you're not, constantly taking a prescription.
No, it's a very loud librarian.
Oh,
Kathy's here. Okay.
So guys, that's just about it. I think I'm going to do this again though, because this was fun and you guys had good questions. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the future. Thanks so much for all the new subs, and consider becoming a member. Members get early access to all my videos, and they also once a month I do a live selection of one tarot master and one tarot enthusiast that they will get a free reading from me. So you can get a free reading. So hope to see some of you over there. You can also get your own magical reading if you want more in-depth reading at the link down below. I will see you guys in the future. Thank you again. I'm grateful for all of you.